Hey guys, today I'm going to share how I did my hair and makeup for my wedding. Going into my wedding, well, first of all, I got married in Greece and I have major anxiety about getting my makeup done. Not even just in Greece, but in general. I live in Los Angeles and I've had my makeup done by countless people for photo shoots, and while it looks good on camera, I have a meltdown when I see myself in person, or like when I look in the mirror, I can't. It's one of those things where I feel super uncomfortable. I don't feel like myself. I feel like people are just staring at my makeup and the amount of makeup I have on. Professional makeup artists, they're artists. They have an amazing eye. They know what they're doing. They know how to play with lighting and all that stuff, and the products are insane. But the thing is it's always really heavy, and that's where I can't bear it with that amount of makeup. So, knowing that I was having a destination wedding, I knew that I was going to have to just deal with the fact that I was going to do my own hair and makeup. I know that most brides are they don't want to look overdone on their wedding day. They don't want to walk down the aisle and the groom think like, oh my gosh, who is that? They fell in love with you. That's kind of my outlook. So I want to look like me, and I want to look like the best me. The week before my wedding, it could have even been like 2 days before my wedding for all I remember. I remember I was like stressed out like a crazy person. I went to Sephora, and normally when I go to Sephora, it is so busy in there, it's impossible to ever ask a question. Like, people are always in a rush. Like, it's a nightmare, right? Like, we love Sephora, but it's just a nightmare. So I went into Sephora kind of like, a disastrous mess, so stressed, so freaked out about this. Like, not about the wedding, about this. I'd watched countless YouTube videos, and I thought, okay, I got this, I can do this. Like, these girls look amazing. They're doing an amazing job. It's basically professional. But then I was like, I have no products. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never contoured. I didn't even own foundation. I did not even own foundation. Repeat. So I found this insanely sweet girl. She took me under her wing. She could sense like the stress in me. She was like, okay, we got this. She sat me down in the chair. She gave me all these amazing products. She goes, this is going to be expensive, but this is your wedding, and you're going to need every single product I'm giving you today. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So she sits me down, got me, this palette. She taught me how to contour for like, dummies. Introduced me to my first foundation ever. Taught me about setting spray. Taught me the real reason we need primer. Upgraded all my brushes. I mean, this girl just like hooked me up. For the wedding, I wanted to look natural. I think that's kind of a common theme now amongst a lot of brides, is we want to look natural, not overdone, but we want to look like our best selves. So we want to be tan, we want to glow, we want to, have that perfect cheekbone. It's a lot of work, but let me tell you that this look actually takes like 20 minutes. It's really not that bad. You just have to have the right stuff. And honestly, practicing makes perfect. Make the investment in the products. It will save your life. You're going to reuse them. You'll find new ways to use them and incorporate them into other looks. And it's going to be totally worth it. And words of encouragement to brides out there that are going to do a destination wedding, you can do this. Watch videos, find girls that have the same hair color, same skin color, same eye color. I mean, seriously, be specific, because this is your wedding. You want to look good. You want to feel good. But you can definitely do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Seriously, I'm telling you, you got this. So let's get started. First step, always primer. For my wedding, I used Hourglass number 28 serum. Basically, just put one little drop, and I'm doing this after my moisturizer. This really just helps keep everything in place. For the residue, I just like to rub it in my hands, my skin. It smells really good. It kind of has like that aromatherapy feel to it, so it's really good stuff. Next, this is my foundation I use. It's Sephora's Airbrush. And basically for the wedding, I went 2 shades darker because I wanted to make sure that when I had a tan after being on the beach for a week before the wedding, that my foundation was going to match. Either way, I probably would have gone a little bit darker anyways, just because I always want to look tan on camera. So you shake it up. It's kind of fun. And I used a Sephora Pro Contour brush, airbrush brush, and you just kind of swirl it in there. I'm gonna use this YSL All Lights on Me Under Eye Concealer. This is designed for someone who's gonna be like taking photos or in flash, which is perfect for the wedding because obviously there's gonna be a combination of both. And so I used 2 clicks. This stuff is really heavy. I followed a YouTube tutorial on this, by the way. Kind of scary, right? Okay, so to me this looks really scary, but apparently this is what you're supposed to do when you really want to brighten the under eye area. It does get a lot more toned down once I start adding the bronzers and everything, so just bear with me. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that this actually is really scary looking. Okay, so the next step is eyebrows. And as you guys all know, my eyebrows take like a good 15 minutes to do, so I like to speed this part up. Okay, so today I'm using this Lancome, that's in French, so I'm not gonna say it, eyebrow gel. It's clear. Up until this point, I've always used Max Clear Gel just because they're the only ones I know that makes it clear, but Lancome just sent me this and I love it. So it's got a coating to it, like a little bit of a coloration, but it dries clear. Next is eye primer. Today I'm using Lancome. For my wedding, I was still super obsessed with the Urban Decay potion, so that's what I used for that day, and that one is probably one of my other favorites, so either one works. All right, so this is my beloved palette that I bought for my wedding. We're gonna start with Cashmere Bunny. This is the all over color. The next step is I'm going to take this definer brush, and use the color Push Up. And this color is going to go below the crease, not the grace, the crease, and all over. The next thing I'm gonna do is add eyelashes. So these are just from CVS. They're super inexpensive. I think they're like $5. And I chose one that's got like a little bit more spacing between it. So it's not like a super thick, it's not super full. And then I play with my lashes. Like I like to do this bending motion just to kind of help it shape or like form to my eye or whatever. Sometimes they get really stiff from being on that thing, but since these are thinner, they're a little bit easier to work with. I find that the really intense lashes are the ones that need to be worked into like a more like real eye shape. I use Duo. I use the black because then when it dries black, and then it's almost like a faux eyeliner. So I just squeeze a teeny tiny bit, come on, and then I apply directly to the lash line. So I've heard mixed reviews on this. Some people say let it dry for a second so it gets tacky and then it's easier to stick on. Others have said just go straight on. I kind of do a combination of both. I don't let it dry fully, but I definitely wait like a couple seconds just so it's not like super, super wet and then it gets like slippery and hard to move on your eye. So let's see how this works. So you can probably see that they're really subtle. It's nothing too dramatic. I just need that extra volume with my own lashes because it doesn't ever show up. Like mascara, normal mascara doesn't really show up on photos for me too well. So I like to add this just to kind of add a little bit of extra length and fullness. From here, I'm going to use my nude liner for my waterline before I do my mascara. And I'll film it this one time, but never again. I didn't want to do an eyeliner on my wedding day, so what I did is obviously the lashes, but then because I like, you know, my cat eye, I just wanted to do a teeny tiny little like cat eye. So I'm using a liquid liner. This one's by Lancome and it's called Art Liner. And it's like a sponge-based whatever applicator. So it's really easy to use. Very, very subtle. Most people probably wouldn't even notice that, but I do. Next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna use a mascara, and this is like my best trick for false eyelashes to kind of help them blend in with your natural, is to add mascara. But what I do is I tap the mascara rather than going like this, because then it doesn't pull it off, it doesn't like separate them, it just clumps them together. I know that's like a horrible word to use, clumps, but you'll see what I mean. So I'm just gonna go like this. I don't know if you can see the difference, but this one just now looks a little bit more natural than the other side. All right, so that's it for the eyes. Next, we're gonna move on to the cheeks. And what I used was this NARS palette called Paloma. This is a contouring palette, but it's matte and I had never contoured before, so she warned me that for beginners, you should just stick to something powder-based rather than a liquid or a stick, because those are really easy to mess up. And so this made it really easy for me. So I used a Pro contouring brush, and I went for the matte contour, and basically just drew on like faux cheekbones. I didn't use the highlighter on that. So I'm gonna switch to the NARS Craving palette, and I'm gonna use the contour on this, same brush, and kind of go over what I just did to add a hint of shimmer to my contour. And then I'm gonna use the highlighter, same brush. I was really torn about the lip color I was gonna use because I wasn't sure if I should do pink or nude or nothing. So I went to MAC and I let them choose for me, and they gave me Snob. And this color is pretty much a baby pink, and because I don't go crazy on my lip color ever, I just kind of like dab it. For the wedding, I did use a lip liner because I wanted to make sure that my lipstick stayed within the lines or whatever, stayed within my lips. So I used the color Edge to Edge. Oh, and I think I'm doing it backwards. I think you're supposed to do this first, but I actually like to do my lipstick first and then do my lip liner. And of course, lastly, I always use my setting spray. For the wedding, I did use this exact one, Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. This really helped with all the wedding events because most of them took place, obviously, on the beach. And the humidity tends to kind of like make your makeup melt a little bit, or like your skin gets dewy because it's humid. This really, really kept everything in place, I must say. So shake it up. So for the hair, I wanted it to be very similar to my everyday look because I obviously wanted to have a very natural look for my wedding. I didn't want to look over the top. And since my hair is always down and wavy, it just made sense to me to go with what I know. I freak out when I see myself in a photo with a ponytail. I wear a ponytail all the time. I clip my hair back all the time. I braid my hair all the time. But for whatever reason, when I see a photo of me, it's like I have a meltdown. So I did not want to deal with that kind of pressure on my wedding day. And because I was doing my own hair, I didn't want to like experiment. I stuck to what I knew, and I was really happy with the outcome. Granted, I didn't do any sort of touching up, which I should have. I'm like that kind of person where in a party, there's zero touching up. I'm never going to touch up my lipstick. I'm never going to look at myself in the mirror again. It's like once I'm entertaining and in the zone, like that's it. So I never went in for a makeup touch-up. I never fixed my hair, and it totally like dropped by the end of the night, and it was frizzy and gross, but you know, whatever, I don't really care. So yeah, so my hair was basically, as you see it now, a little bit more contained, and my hair was longer. I just cut my hair. This is my look for my wedding, and if you have any questions, let me know. I will link all the products below as always. And I hope that this is helpful for any brides out there that are doing a destination wedding that are anxious and scared about their hair and makeup like I was. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.